So first is, let us read this row. Okay. So how can I read the row? Any method is there? Event dot get source dot get binding context of EMP ID, EMP name, EMP designation, EMP hire date, EMP designation. BC dot get property, I am giving the same names to avoid confusion. Get property. The properties are nothing but the properties from the service document, metadata. So whenever you consume a service, those properties or all the metadata will reside in the local services. So you can see the metadata. Okay? That is nothing but all the dollar metadata which we have applied. Okay? All that you can see. Type level. So these are all the metadata which we have, which we can see. Now, all this contains the values. Whatever the value of the row you select, sorry, whatever row you selected, this code we already done related to binding context. Okay, so all the row whatever we selected, those values will populate here. Let us cross check it. Side. So whatever row we selected, all the values are there. Give to another. Right. EMP ID is right. Whatever row I am selecting, those values only are getting captured in the net. These values, whatever are there here, I need to push them back to the form. This form. Okay. So how can I do that? This dot by ID, this dot by ID, EMP ID, one one there for the update form. Okay, so bring that ID, the set value of the and setting this. Which declaration? You can do it. All you can do it. Actually, get the code like this. It's not by ID or by set value. A is equal to B, B is equal to C, A is equal to C. Directly for it, A is equal to C, you get confused. Break it into separate bits. And also that first primary key is there, no? You grayed out. Set enabled of false if you write it, it's grayed out. Only whatever values I select, and we can gray out that. Set enabled of false. Okay. Now again the same story for the create how we did O entry and we captured all the values. Same we can apply, we can update it. So except the primary key we can update it. Take it in the and here. What you have to do, you are in the debug phase. 2 seconds. Yes, everything can change. I think this did not get updated. Okay, was the browser again. Okay, meanwhile, let us have the update record code as well. Not required. Getting updated. Okay. So what we'll do to this button, update record. So same code whatever is there for the create, the same code you can copy it. Few changes will make it. All this by ID 1, EMP ID, sorry, EMP ID 1, because this coming from the form, and rest everything is same, this is same, this is same. We'll just take variable change here, update, 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 record. Let us cross check again. We have to send. So primary key I need to send it now. So let us take entity set. So EMP set, the way how we have handled that primary key, let me just hard code it. This is nothing but the ont.emp ID. Okay. So that must be removed, taken away, plus, and this ont.emp ID is the primary key. You have to send that primary key. Now this, okay, so we need to pass the primary key, passing the dynamic payment. So greet user also we have passed that welcome the dynamic name. So similarly we can pass. Yes. Cache problem. So it get updated. Right, cache problem server data which is coming. Okay. Data. So delete also follows the same thing. So only thing what I will do here, I will add another button, delete. underscore dot so I'll just have you to work on the delete. Just issue the remove method for the delete. Okay, now let us try to deploy this application to the backend and have it access from the Fiori Launchpad. Okay. Deploy the app to the SAP ABAP repository and create a Fiori app on the Fiori Launchpad using Fiori Designer. So the condition of opening the UEFI application is from the Fiori Launchpad. There are total 8 steps which you have to follow. The procedure. So there is an 8-step procedure which you have to follow. First, deploy the app to the backend to SAP ABAP repository. This UEFI application will be converted to a PSP application. Okay. I'm giving the T codes directly. You have to check in the SCAT about the PSP. But the namespace.
एक घंटे का और
Step number 3, go to the SICF T code and select the URL from the UEFI underscore UEFI node. Next, create a launchpad customization using LPD underscore cust. You can have n number of applications in the launchpad customizations. For a single launchpad role, you can have n number of applications. LPD role. So let us have LPD role as ZLPD, not ZLPD, Z EMP 99. Today, December 10th, I just use the D10 for all the application naming. To this LPD role, we can have n number of applications. So let us have one application, a T code application. Every application is identified by application alias. Let us say the T code number 10. Another application, application 2, our UEFI application. ZUEFI D10. For the UEFI applications, we will have to fill additional information. SAP UEFI dot component, which takes the namespace which is collected in step 2. One step is dependent on the previous step. Step number 5, we have to create a semantic object with a T code /n /UI2 /semobj. For application 1, we'll create a semantic object zsem T code D10. For application 2, zsem UI5 D10. Next, we go to the Fiori designer. We create a catalog, target mapping, tiles, and create groups by making use of the above values. In the role matrix, we will assign the catalogs and groups to the user. So let us say my user is Suman V. Assign catalog and group to the user. Last step is in the Fiori Launchpad, we have to check whether the application is accessible. So I assume that now we are the backend developers. We don't have any information about UI5. We only know that UI5 application is deployed. I got an email that the application is deployed with the DSP name. That DSP name will collect it here. And first one deploy the app is the UI5 role. UI5 developers role. SCIT, anybody, ABAP or basis or security. SICF is purely a basis role. LPD cusp is purely a security role. Semantic object, a security role. Fiori designer, here comes UI5 or basis role. So UI5 developer can also have the understanding of the Fiori designer. TFCG is purely a security role. Launchpad, UI5 for any user having the access, end users. Once it is released to production, after it moves from the staging, then you can have the Launchpad access to the applications. So those who have the systems, you can create it. If the systems are not accessible, you listen it. Okay. And if the video is shared to you, then you can watch the video. This is a bit typical when we follow the steps. Okay, we regularly practice, we remember, but for you it might be first time. It will be very difficult to understand. At the same time, I'll try my level best to explain you. Okay, so your job completes when you deploy to the backend. First step is the one what your role ends. Okay, deploy the application, forget. Okay, so that goes to the backend, and from there the story starts how it moves from the second step to the seventh step. Okay, shall we start? So first we'll start deploying the application. Step number 1. Okay. WebEx participants. WebEx participants, please access the password as welcome1. W small. W capital uppercase welcome 1. So I typed it in the chat window. W uppercase, welcome one. Okay. So meanwhile, what I'll do, I will deploy the application to the backend. Right click on the application, deploy to SAP UEFI ABAP repository. So it connects to my system, I mean our system. There is a system already configured to the Web IDE, the SAP HCP. Now you can see the system has the UEFI libraries with 1.5. So I have created the application with 1.4. So not a problem. I'm deploying the new application. Name of the application. So here, enter the name for the deployed application. The name must follow the rules of creating a BSP application. Okay, so it should not exceed 15 characters. What I'll do, ZEMP99, December 10th. Okay, I'll try to create with this package. There's some cache problem. Is the application, BSP application name. So first it will start the build process. Once build is successful, then it starts deploying to the backend. So during build, it collects all the information about the libraries or what are the controls used, and it will create a dist folder under the web app folder.
Suman, what if we don't deploy this application in a web repository?
You have to move the UEFI code. UEFI is a web application similar to your Java and .NET. Okay, but the rule for opening the web application, UEFI application is from the Fiori Launchpad. Fiori Launchpad and all these things reside in the backend. So Fiori is the SAP product. So you have to deploy it to the backend, and a component will be created. You have to transport that component to the next environment.
Okay, so after deploying this, it will be available on Fury Launchpad.
No. Directly it won't be available. When you deploy it, it sits in the SC80.
Okay. After deploying, I will be able to see that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Every change with UEFI change. But when you deploy second time, I told you there is a dist folder created, distribution folder. It identifies the distribution folder. Next time you will get the option update an existing application. So when you see that two buttons are there, create and update. No, we should not touch DSP applications. Build is complete. Now it will start the deployment process. So you have a console here. You can check the console. Any files are missed out, anywhere it is stopping. So if it stops anywhere, you can inform the basis team. Take a screenshot. If it moves on, everything is good. There are total 93 files. So it is going on one by one. Okay, no problem. Application has been deployed. Then somewhere I have used the same naming convention. It is just better. The application is now available as a BSP application. So move to the step 2. Step 2 is go to SE80. So in that, select the BSP application and the BSP application name. So when I'm in the backend, I don't know the namespace used by the UEFI developer. So I need to check it. So if BSP application resembles your UEFI application naming conventions, everything. So let me go to any of the controller and collect the namespace. So till the controller, that is the namespace. Form.yash, collect the namespace. Whatever namespace you collected, this has to be given here in the 4th step. Okay, there's a link that should be given here. Next, move to the step 3, SICF. SICF, here the BSP are stored as a service in the SICF, Service Internet Communication Framework. So here you can see 2 nodes, SAP BC, BSP SAP and SAP BC, UEFI underscore UEFI SAP and the service. So I want the URL from UEFI underscore UEFI node. You cannot access this URL directly. This must be accessed only from the launchpad. Okay. Now we have to use this URL along with the role creation and aliases here in the LPD custom. So in the LPD cust, create a new launchpad with a role. So I told you that we'll use this role, the EMP99 D10 instance. There are 3 instances: transactional, analytical, and fact sheets. So we are going to use the transaction apps here. Transactional, description, LPD for CPAP99. The namespace, you can use it. Now this is a customized Launchpad role where you are going to create n number of applications. So from the Fury Launchpad, you can open n number of applications. First, for example, I want to open a key code from the Fury Launchpad. In the application type, you have a number of applications: Specs Analyzer, BI Query, Web Template, Crystal Report, InfoSet Query, List Report, Portal Page, Transaction, URL, Visual Composer, so Web Intro, App, Web Intro. So you can open any of the applications from the Fury Launchpad. Okay, but only our UFI applications are responsive in nature. Fine. So let us first use the transaction. Transaction code. The advanced parameters, you have the application alias. So for every application, you need a application alias. It's default. Then application. SAP local system. Next, we try to use our AF application. Application type URL. So this URL, nothing but the one what we collected in the step 3. Application alias for the UFI application. This and the additional information SAP UFI dot component is equal to the namespace. com.emacs is the namespace what we have used. Save. We are done almost. We have to create one semantic object by making use of the T code. Semantic object takes three things: semantic object name, semantic object description, cross client. I will use this semantic object name description. Semantic object also got created. And Fury Designer. So I'm opening the Fury Designer. There's a T code which we can access, but most of the systems contain it as a URL. So it resides in the backend. So there's a Fury Designer. You can just click on that. Might open in the Internet Explorer. So I want it to be opened in the Chrome browser. So I copy the URL. In the URL you can see /SAP/BC/UF_UFI. So this is a path in the SICF. So Fury Designer, Fury Launchpad, all reside in the ABAP front-end server in the backend. So for the end user, I told you that in the end user here, I want the applications. Like I want one T code, I want one customized application. Catalog. Every consultant can have his own catalog, his or her own catalog. Catalog A, catalog B, catalog C. Every catalog contains n number of applications. Those might be customized or standard applications. Catalog A, for example, is working on the application render time create sales order in one customized application. Another consultant, catalog B, is working on other applications. Let us say leave request, travel and expenses. Catalog C, working on some key code enhancements. Now, I need to place key code and the ZEMP99 from catalog C and catalog A respectively. I cannot directly pull this and assign it here. For that, I need a group to be created. Let us say group admin. Now, to this group admin, I am going to pull this ZEMP99 from catalog A and the key code from catalog C and assign this to the user, not directly but through role matrix called as PFCG, which comes in the 7th step. So this is the 8th step, Fiori Launchpad. This is the 7th step, and this is the 6th step. Link between catalog and the group. Clear? After completing this, I'll tell you the whole story, what is happening. Okay, what is that Launchpad customization semantic object? So this story is the climax of the movie, the one what I told you. Beginning of the movie, I'll tell you. So here I'm going to create a catalog. Say for example, Z-yash cat V10 and the group Z-yash. On clicking on the, so this designer tool is directly integrated to the browser, where you have the bottom of the screen a press button. On the right side you have for the catalogs, we have target mapping and the tiles and the group. So this story I'll tell you. So let me create a catalog first. Okay. Now I need to create the target mapping and tile. So I'll take a pause here. Let me go back to our movie. Tiles and a target mapping. Okay. Now from the UI5 application, that means this application. This one. This is the ERP application. Okay. What we did, if you rewind the steps, we deployed that to the backend. It converted to BSP application. Okay. Then that BSP application is activated in the SICF T code. In the SICF T code, we have the URL /SAP, that URL which I have collected. Because of the space issue, I cannot write that here. I try to just maintain like this, /SAP. That's a URL. Clear now? Fine. In the Launchpad role, LPD role, I told you we can create n number of roles, n number of applications to this one role. Okay, 2 applications I created. One application is T code application, another application is UEFI application, and they have their own application IDs. Application IDs in the form of application aliases. Okay. Now, these target mappings, we are going to provide the applications along with the application aliases. So, for the T code, it is ZT code D10. For the UEFI, it is ZUI5 D10. You can create n number of applications. So, your LPD role is acting as a link between your backend and the Fiori designer. So, this is the Fiori designer. To assign this application aliases which contains the URL or the other T codes. So your T code and the UEFI link we have given, which points to the SICF. If you remember, in the UEFI application, we have copied the URL from the SICF. Okay. So to this target mapping, you have to define all the application aliases which contain the link to the LPD custom role. So LPD, Launchpad customization, links between the ECC and the target mapping. So let us take that. LPD custom links between ECC and the target mapping. Now, to the tiles, these tiles are directly seen on the Fiori Launchpad by making use of the groups. Whatever tiles you are preparing, the icons on the tiles, the title for the tiles, all those things appear on the Fiori Launchpad in the last step. Again, how many tiles can I create? It's up to you. You can create 10 tiles, 20 tiles, 2 tiles, whatever it may be. Now, I need to link target mapping application aliases to the tiles. Say, for example, you are making use of this T code and you are assigning it here. Already, application aliases, which is an ID, is already used here in the target mapping. There must be some variable which I have to use it in the tiles. That variables we are going to define in a separate place called as semantic object. So in the semantic object, we have defined 2 variables, ZSEM T code 10 and ZSEM UEFI D10. And now we will make use of these variables to identify the application aliases. ZSEM T code 10 will make use for the T code, and ZSEM UEFI D10 will make use for the UEFI application, and we'll use that here in the tiles. So what your semantic object is doing, it is linking between target mapping and the tiles. Link between target mapping and the tiles. LPD cust links between ECC and target mapping, semantic object from target mapping towards the tiles. Okay, now we are going to do this. Create target mapping. There is a button here. So select the target mapping, create target mapping. So in the target mapping, you have to fill the details like the LPD role, the application alias. On the right side, you have the option to select SAP Fiori app using LPD underscore cust. Launchpad role. So what is the launchpad role we have used? This one. Instance transactional. Application alias. Now I want a T code. So I'll use Z T code 10. As per the diagram, this T code, I want a semantic object. One variable I'm using. So that semantic object which I have created, ZSIM T code 10, I'm using it here. There is always an action which you have to specify. For all the customized applications, the action is display. Save it. One more target mapping. LPD role. Application alias. To this application alias, I will have another semantic object, a variable which I will use it in the tiles. Display. Is the action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need 5 values to fill the Fiori designer. Okay. For the customized application, the values we have created with all the steps. For the standard apps, these 5 values will be given in the Fiori apps library. I'll show you that. So I just term them as 5-star values, just for easy understanding. If you have the 5-star values, LPD role, instance, application alias, semantic object, action. Action will be displayed for customized applications, customized Fiori apps. Done. Tiles. So these tiles will appear as it is on the Fiori launchpad. So click on the add tile. We have 2 types of tiles. Ignore the new tile, dynamic tile and the static tile. Dynamic tile means you will see the number on that, total number of records. So in the tiles, it only asks you for the semantic object. It won't ask you for anything like LPD cust or so and so. If you understood this diagram, then you can fill these values. So semantic object. So I'm going to create a transaction code. So let me have the semantic object and action. Title PA30 T code, and let me have a icon. Save. Static tile, semantic object, action, title, yes, employee, track. we're almost done. So catalogs contain applications from different consultants. Groups contains catalogs, okay, for the selected apps. These contain apps from different consultants. These contain apps from catalogs. So when you are creating a group, you have to select the catalog. To that catalog, how many apps are attached? Those things we can show it on the launchpad. Group is a direct focus to the Fiori launchpad. Just using the role matrix, we can show the Fiori apps. So let me create the group now and add these two things to the launchpad. Group, create a group. Wait 10 minutes. I know. I can understand. Okay. So group is created. Show as tiles. Now there is a F4 button here. You have to search for the Zcash. This one. To this, how many you can have n number of Fiori apps. Okay, standard customized. So you can just select. I want to show T code. Tick mark. This one. Tick mark. So all one by one it will be shown on the Fiori launchpad. Not directly PFCG. I have to handle that one. So I'll just open the Fiori launchpad. Last step. And after I perform the 7th step, I'll again refresh this to show that all these apps go into the Fiori launchpad. Okay, so let us go to the last step, PFCG. So this is purely security role. So you have to tell them which need to be activated. Z December 10. So with that I'll create Z 10. ZT second role. Single role. Menu and user, two tabs must be activated. In the menu, I need to add this catalog, SAP Fiori tile catalog. And SAP Fiori tile group. Then finally to the user. So my user, I'm adding it. Save all. Then you can see in the. Let me refresh and see. We need to see the group. What the group name we used? Zcash group 10. The first one. Zcash group 10. Okay, we got two here. One is T code and one is red. When you click on that, so what happens when you click on that? When you click on this application ZEMP99, it checks whether that application is there for the user. Then it checks in the group. It visits the catalog and it checks whether that application is there in the tiles. I'm just reverse engineering it. It goes and checks whether that in the target mapping the application is there or not. It inquires in the LPD custol whether that LPD custol is there or not. In that UEFI role URL is there. It checks in the SICF and it closes the BSP application and it opens the UEFI application. This is what it happens basically, and it is the only procedure to open the application. Okay, directly you cannot open it. You need to access it from the Fiori launchpad only. Any doubts? No doubts. Thanks. So,
So
what's
anytime
the
we deploy the application, that much work need to be done, right?
exactly? So, basis team will be handling this as of now because you cannot maintain the roles and everything or the catalogs. So, basis teams and security will be holding this. So, frankly speaking, our so you will be having the standard apps also, but there are no standard apps installed in this. These are all customized applications. Standard applications. If you visit the Fiori apps library, are there? So I told you that from the 5-star web, I told you, I'm just opening this SAP Fiori apps for SAP Business Suite by line of business. So you have number of applications here. Let us just visit human resources. So this basically what I told, this is the Fiori architecture tree. Yes. Island. Sure. So this, yeah, this I call it as a Fiori architecture tree. Now you can ask me a question: what is 2 and what is 1? Okay, 1 is when during the demo I told you. Yes, just a second. Because there is some there is some time now. So, Fiori architecture 1 is basically a very simple diagram where on the Fiori launchpad you have Fiori apps, customized apps and standard apps. Okay, and you open them, you get what? You'll get a SAP UI5 layouts. And you get the data into it through OData services. This is Fiori architecture 1. This the very basic idea of 3 technologies. The one what I told you is Fiori architecture 3. Okay, there is a 2 residing here. I thought that time is not sufficient, but let me tell you. So this is a Fiori architecture in the cross-sectional area where when a request is sent from the Fiori launchpad, from the front end, this is all front end, this is all back end. When a request is sent from the front end to the back end, okay, in the back end there resides in the hub environment, hub environment, 2 servers which are called as ABAP front end server and ABAP backend server. And these 2 servers are connected through trusted RFCs. Okay. ABAP backend server is a general or a normal ECC. ABAP front-end server is nothing but your Fiori system, or this has the browser-enabled capacity. That means browser means internet. Internet means net. Net weaver. So you generally call them as NetWeaver systems. It might be a loose terminology what I'm using, but for you to understand. So in the ABAP front-end server, there resides three major components: UI5 libraries, UI5 add-ons, and the Fiori Launchpad. So these are the major components which reside here in the ABAP front-end server in the back-end. Okay, these contain all the graphical components. In the Fiori architecture 1, when I told you when you click on the application, your UI5 application will open. Okay, that means all graphical. So you need to see all the graphical things, then backend should understand that it must be some graphical components. This will be in the form of UI5 libraries. The demo kit, what you are seeing is nothing but the demo kit URL coming from the ABAP front-end server in the backend. Okay. Now, where my service builder tool, all those reside. So all the tables or the RFCs resides in the ABAP backend server, and you have your tool here in the backend. Now, when you generate your service, you are generating your service. You are sending that service to the ABAP front-end server, thereby to the front end. Okay, so to the front end. Assume that there is a gate here and your service is entering through the gate into the ABAP front-end server. Front-end server is called as NetWeaver. So generally you call this as NetWeaver Gateway Service Builder. So in the hub environment, your NetWeaver Gateway service resides in the backend server. Most of you might get confused by seeing the name of that NetWeaver Gateway. Okay, in the hub environment. In some of the scenarios in our company system also, you cannot afford two separate systems. So we have only one system where ECC, Fiori system is built on top of ECC, and those are called as embedded systems. Okay. Now when you open the Gateway Service Builder tool, when you create a project, you get only 4 folders. You won't get the file icon. That file icon is nothing but a link from the front end to the back end server. Sorry, from the back end to the front end server. But as we have only one system which is called as embedded, 2 systems are there in only one, and you have the interconnection where the RFCs are defined as none and the system aliases are maintained as local. This is what it is maintained. None or the same system pointing to the same system itself. Quickly, if you want to show me, double click on the service maintenance on the right side, question mark. This is what one more step has to be configured. That file icon is nothing but the link between the backend and front end systems. So the destination system is S4H and the system alias. That means it is pointing to itself. Destination is S4H and system alias also S4H, and RFC destination also S4H. This is an embedded system. So this is the security. It is security, but most of them performance is a issue where we have in the UEFI and the Fiori applications. A lot of performance issues are there. So production systems, this hub environment exists, but in our normal development and in quality, you can have only embedded systems. Okay. Client cannot afford purchasing 2 separate systems, which are very costly. So in the Fiori apps, standard apps library, anything, for example, upload your request or any app you click, on the right side in the implementation information, there resides installation. In the installation itself, front end components and the back end components will be given. Okay, front end components are checked in the system status. So in the system status, anywhere you can just check it. There is a magnifying glass, and there you can check that. I'm not writing all those things. And the backend components, these are done by the basis team. Are checked in the Saint T code. And then when you move on, once the components are installed, then it is for the configuration where our UEFI consultants has to check for the main things. You need to read the document, whatever document says. Then we have all the 5-star values. I told you, like semantic object, semantic action, catalog names, business catalogs, and business groups. Okay. Once you get expertise with the steps I gave, these 8 steps, then this will be very easy for you to activate the standard apps. Okay. Yes, I can do. But here I cannot tell you. It's a fast track batch. So what I prefer, yeah. So any doubts still here? I'm done. 5 minutes. Just a second. So I told you I'm maintaining one YouTube channel. So in your mobiles, you can type this UEFI space Venkat space Karthik. Karthik is the name what I am using for my UEFI sessions. A pen name or pencil name, whatever you want. And you get this icon. So please subscribe that icon, and you will be getting latest videos in the YouTube in your mobile phones. Enter this UEFI space Venkat space Karthik, and you'll get this Fury icon, and you subscribe that.